Hello family, friends, and bushcraft buddies. I'm doing this video because of all the people I've watched try to make char cloth and they failed at char cloth. So I want to show you why people fail at making char cloth. Now one of the things I do is I have a tin can here. And in this tin can, oops, I let it get a little too close to the fire, it's kind of hot. In this tin can I have blue jean material, pure cotton. I got this tin can, I got a little hole in the front of it, if you can see there. The hole is not necessary when you have a can like this. It's a loose fitting lid anyway. I do this for my benefit so that I can see when it's actually starting to char. And I'll be right back with you here in just a little bit when I get this can set up and get it ready to char. Now we're going to pretend this is a campfire. Okay? I would normally do this over a campfire, but I just got in off the road. As some of you know, I'm a truck driver, and I just got in off the road. And I don't have time to build one before the sun goes down. So we're going to get a lot of heat up around that can. Now you're going to see why I put the hole in there. I put the hole in there, see that smoke coming out? I put the hole in there so that I can see when it starts to char. That's called gasification right there. That's the beginning of gasification. Now a lot of people stop right there, and that's where they make their mistake. A lot of people stop when they see that smoke coming out, and they seal that can off, they seal that hole off, and it's not completely charred when they're done. So let me show you here. I'll show you the next step. You see the smoke a-rolling. Now that smoke is going to stop. And when that smoke stops, then there's going to be fire come out that little hole. That's the next part of gasification. That's when it's built up enough gases to combust. After it combusts, you leave that fire going until that fire goes out. I'm going to shut the camera off, and when it catches fire, I'm going to turn it back on and show you. Okay, now here's the second part of gasification. You see how I got that little fire going there? That's what that little hole's for. It tells me it's gasified now and there's gases in the can. And now that fire will burn. And I'm going to let that go until that fire goes completely out on its own. It will automatically extinguish on its own. I won't have to blow it out. It'll just go out. I'll leave this run here for just a little while, and then I'll shut it off, and I'll come back when it's about to go out. When it's doing its last part of the fire, I'll come back and show you what it does. Okay, now you see how the fire's getting smaller? The fire's getting smaller and smaller, and before long it'll go out. Right now, if you was to cap that can off and take the fire off of it and pull the lid off, you would still only have partially charred cloth. It wouldn't be completely charred. I may have to shut this off so the video don't run too long and then come back when it is out to show you that it's out. Like I said, it's getting smaller. If you notice, it's getting smaller. It's about to go out. Maybe I can just leave it on here just a little bit longer. Okay, it went out. You see how that went out? Now what we do is we cap it off now. We push that lid down nice and tight. Take the fire off. Take the fire completely off. Make sure the lid is nice and tight, because if you take the lid off of it now, it'll still burst into flames and it'll still just burn up. So we're going to move it to the side and push all the coals away from it so it'll cool down. Okay, it's getting dark on me, but I've let it cool down now. It ought to be completely cooled down enough that I can open this up and show you. There it is. Completely charred cloth. Completely charred. Now, if you stop it while the smoke's coming out, it's still a little hot. If you stop it while the smoke's coming out, or you stop it when the fire starts, you're still not going to have charred cloth. You got to wait on that fire to go out. Then you cap it. And then you have to wait on that can to cool down enough that it's not going to burst into flames. And then you'll have complete charred cloth. Okay, it's time to test our char cloth. It's getting dark now, and that's actually a good thing, so we can show how the char cloth works. Now, what I like to do, a lot of people has problems. They don't know if they're supposed to use the rock and strike down or use the striker and strike up. I don't really do either. I wrap my char cloth. I make my char cloth big enough that I can wrap it right over the top of my flint and just cover my flint up. Now, when you do that, them sparks have to hit that char cloth somewhere. So when you actually hit it, you actually cut through the char cloth and the sparks will fly and catch on to the cloth. May take a couple of times. Almost had one. There we go. Oop, I lost it. Do it again. Hope you can see that. There, I know you can see that. Now, if you use blue jean material, see how it's glowing in there? That ain't gonna go out. That's gonna hold for a long time. Getting down there where it's gonna burn my fingers. Have to get rid of this. But if you do it like I showed you there, put it in the can, put your little hole in there. The hole is, the only purpose of the hole is so you can see the gasification good. Put a little hole in there. Don't seal the lid all the way down. You'll see the smoke come out, the white smoke. And then the smoke will start changing colors. And when it changes colors, that tells you that it's getting ready to light and catch fire. Once it catches fire, you let it go. You do not blow it out. Don't cap it off. Don't do nothing. Let that fire completely go out. Once that fire completely goes out, then you'll have char cloth. After you cap it off and leave it set, let it cool down, you'll have char cloth. Let me turn the camera around here and show you. If you use blue jean material, that char cloth will just keep right on glowing for a long time. Can you see that? It's still going. Still going. Gives you plenty of time to get a fire going. Well, I hope that cleared up some things. Hope this video wasn't too long or too boring. I tried to shorten it down as much as I could, but that's the proper way of making char cloth. Until the next video, God bless. and I'll see you again. Goodbye.